Welcome back to Koa Sports Media. My name is Tim Ballantyne, and today I'm joined by Harish Subramanian. Have I got that right?
It's Subramanian, but yeah.
Subramanian.
Yeah.
Now I know. Now I know. So Harish and I have been working together for, I'm going to say, a year and a half, since about a year.
Almost, yeah. Just over a year. I think a year and 3 months or something.
Feels like a year and a half.
Yeah.
Maybe you're wearing me down. But look, we met really in Bintan, didn't we? In Indonesia.
Did,
And since then we've come a long way, hey?
Yeah.
So, Harish, you are based where? Where do you do your training?
In Bangalore, in India.
In India. Okay, so it's a really, certainly as your coach, it's quite a. It's not so much a challenge, but it's different.
Yeah, you get to see all the challenges on my training peaks.
It is, yeah. No, but like it's we have athletes all over the world, and like your environment is certainly up there in terms of the challenging front.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is So Ironman announced that they're having the first 70.3 in Goa in India, and that's quite a significant step. And you're doing that race. You managed to get.
I managed to sneak in the first couple of days.
How quickly did it sell out?
I think within the first week,
within the first week. Yeah. So we're going to get you, and you've agreed to, just so you think I'm not just springing this on you. But Harish is going to do an athlete blog for Koa Sports for the 16-week preparation. So count 16 weeks back from October. I'm no mathematician, well, are you? But around April, May, you're going to start doing a blog. See, that's the joy of media. So let's get to know you a little bit.
Sure.
So tell us about, not so much go too far back with your childhood, but tell us about almost how you even encountered the sport of triathlon.
Yeah. So I didn't grow up with triathlon. I didn't grow up with running or any of that stuff.
Right.
I kind of, in my late 20s is when I started running. I think it's a fairly familiar story, at least in India. I don't know if this is true for you guys, but late 20s, you kind of leave all of your social circles, and you can't go out and just play a game of tennis or play a game of football.
You do triathlon, you lose all your friends.
Yeah, this is it. So I stared running, and then I did that for a couple of years. Did a few half marathons and marathons and things like that, but. You keep getting injured when you're just running all the time.
Yep.
And every time I'd get injured, I'd try to stay fit by just riding a bike or something like that. And then I came to swimming really late in life, right? So I only learned to swim as an adult.
Yep.
So
and that's been really hard.
Warts and all. Yeah. So no real technique, none of that.
Yep.
But then I figured, triathlon seems like fun. So I didn't jump in and do Ironmans and things like that from the get-go. Yep. I spent the first couple of years just doing sprint tries and
I think it says a lot though. Like immediately when a triathlete or a person reaches out to me from Bangalore and they want to do a long course triathlon, I think it says that you like to do things probably in life a little differently. Like it's not, without generalising, but I can't imagine it's really that's much of a common thing. I mean, it's growing.
But
you'd be one of the pioneers. Maybe in 20 years.
People will still, look at you strangely. Right. So I think
when you're on the balcony.
yes, especially when I'm on the balcony. Everybody in my building knows me as that crazy guy who's
so
out
you set your trainer up.
Yeah. It's in the balcony because, well, one is it's noisy in the apartment, and in the balcony it's just my zone, so I get to do that. But especially kids, are always looking up and saying, "Hey, who's that?"
Yeah. And you have a very supportive wife.
Yes, I do. Yeah,
and you have a daughter.
Yes, I do.
How old is she?
She's turning 3 day after tomorrow.
What? Oh, really?
Yeah. It's her birthday on Monday.
Big party.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Kala.
Yeah. Okay, and she's come to a few events.
Yeah. She's. I don't think she realizes that, but she does. She knows Iron Kids, and she's hoping to do that one day.
Yeah, that's good.
She's seen this, and she's one of those 2-year-olds who thinks triathlon is a very normal thing because she sees me doing
when
this.
When you grow up around it, right? I mean, it's a good example. I mean, you're going to set a great example for her, and
I hope so.
Good habits, right?
Yeah.
Let's go a bit more triathlon specific. Okay. So. Before, do you eat anything on race morning?
Yes, I do.
What do you eat?
So my go-to, and I need to go to the supermarket to get this, is
we're in Colombo, by the way.
Yeah, it's just bread and peanut butter and
white bread.
White bread.
Any bread?
Soft bread. Yeah, basically any bread. Bread, peanut butter, and jam of some kind.
Yep.
That's it. And a banana.
Yep.
Yeah.
And just to go back, so sorry, I'm jumping around here, but Bangalore.
Yeah.
How many million people live in Bangalore, mate?
About 10.
10 million people.
Yeah. So it's about half
How many
of Australia.
cyclists? Maybe 100. That wear lycra, I should say. There's probably a lot of cyclists.
Yeah. No, so I think maybe 100, maybe.
And are there hills nearby? Like, are you able to do hill
There's
training?
one
Yep.
which you know of, the Nandi Hills.
Yep.
Which that's the one proper hill, and so now there are a few cycling races and there's a cycling circuit. It's nothing professional, but it's there. It's starting to become a recurring annual thing.
Yeah. Well,
And-
Ironman wouldn't push into India if they didn't think.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
if they didn't think there was potential.
Yeah. No, and we have some kids who are starting to get into cycling early and trying to make it as professionals and all of that. So a lot of that happens around Nandi Hills. So that's the one big climb. But apart from that, I mean, rolling hills, things like that. But
Yeah. And are you a mild, a spicy, or an extra hot sort of guy? Like, do you like your food really spicy? Or?
I think I started spicy and I've moved to mild
Yep.
over the years.
And you're vegetarian.
I am, yes.
You're
yeah.
vegetarian.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
When did
yeah,
you-
I guess whatever, lacto-ovo vegetarian, if you want to be specific.
How
yeah.
long have you been vegetarian?
So I grew up vegetarian,
Right.
and then I wasn't vegetarian, and I ate anything that moved for about a little over a decade.
Yep.
And then I've been vegetarian now for coming up on 10 years.
Do you think it helps you as an endurance athlete?
I don't know if it helps or hurts. It definitely helped me when I started out with running and things like that. It just helped me feel lighter and kind of fitter and things like that.
Yeah.
Just general healthier. I didn't feel like it was, and then I just continued since then.
Yeah.
So I'm not, So
And what do you do? What do you do for a job? What's your job?
yeah, I work in education. So I.
Part-time education, full-time triathlete? Or-
I would like it that way,
Yeah.
but not yet.
Yeah. You got to become a coach.
I think so. That's the gig. So I work in education, working in digital education, primarily e-learning and things like that.
Yeah.
Working at a company called Great Learning in India.
Yeah.
And
Do you travel a lot for work?
not quite. But maybe
good.
very soon. Maybe very soon. Yeah, so it definitely helps in training
Yeah.
that I don't travel a whole lot.
That consistency is good, isn't it?
Yeah,
It helps when you're settled. I mean, but when you do, you certainly. Harish is a very consistent athlete, usually really well prepared. So you came to the Sunshine Coast.
I did
last year,
Yes.
and for those who were there or heard, that morning was really tough.
Yes.
It was very, very big waves, and I'm going to tell the story because I actually think it's really important for people to understand. So you didn't finish the swim.
I didn't,
You were,
no. Yeah.
but you weren't rescued. But they tried to rescue,
They
but you
tried, yeah.
refused.
Yeah, I was
So-
like, I paid for this.
Yeah, I want to get my
Finish it.
money's worth. And I remember waiting, and I'm like, oh my god, Harish is dead. But it took you
Yeah,
around 90 minutes.
I remember the DND was
Really tough, and it's great that you can laugh about it.
Yeah.
Laugh about it now, and you the sort of person that's like, okay, well, that's that. You went out a holiday, and now you're here. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
a little bit. Got to keep catching the banner, and now
Yeah.
you're here. But how have you dealt with that? Was it difficult to overcome that mentally?
It was for a little while.
Yeah.
So swimming's always been my weakest
Yep.
of the three disciplines.
It was about 3 meter waves, by the way.
and
Yeah.
especially open water swimming, especially out in the
tough.
ocean. It's not something I get to practice, and I think you'll probably hear that if you go and talk to the
Yep.
150 or so Indians who are here, and they're probably about 20 comfortable swimmers, right?
Yep.
And everybody else is hoping and praying that they get through the swim. And I think that's
So
a
are the
very-
organisers.
Yeah, exactly, and
Yep.
that's a very common story. So
Yep.
so it was always a bit, but then I think there were a lot of things that swim that just didn't work right. So I had a big tear on my wetsuit, so I ended up replacing it with a new wetsuit the day before the race.
Yep.
New wetsuit, big waves, just hyperventilating the first 20
It was
minutes.
tough. Yeah.
And then I kind of, got some composure back, which is actually why I thought I'd continue, because I still thought I would make it within the cutoff
Yep.
until about 10 minutes past the cutoff, and then I was like, okay, but now I'm so close, I might as well just finish.
Just get the swim done anyway.
Yeah, but
Yep.
so that was tough too, and that also gives me kind of a lot of focus on what I should be training on. I mean, like as difficult as the run section of any triathlon is, I think
You can run.
yeah, you can
Yep.
run, walk, do whatever, right?
You did a half marathon recently.
I did, yeah.
And what was the time?
It was about 136.
Yeah, so
136
Harish
and a
can
half.
run.
Yeah,
Harish can run. Running's not an issue. You're a good land mammal.
Yes. So bike I need to work on. I think there's at least 15-20 easy minutes I can shave off on the bike. I
agree with that.
And then the swim. The swim is difficult because I think every minute takes so much work.
It's a good point. It's easy, you've only got so much time, so where do you invest the time? And that's always been a bit of a balancing act for us working together. But
I think
what
what I've seen at least leading up to this one is you've pushed me to do a lot of at least do a lot of swims, at least the frequency, even if I'm not doing it at the same intensity as planned. And I think that helps. That helps mostly mentally. It's a confidence thing, right?
Yeah.
So
we want to finish the swim.
We
definitely. Well, at least the waves aren't going to be so big, right?
Yeah.
So you did. So without giving you competition too much insight, you did the Goa test event, if you want to call it that, and it was obviously a little bit different, but you raced there. Is there any sort of insights maybe that you can give people about Goa that they're not from Goa, but maybe people who are tourists that are going to go race there?
Yeah.
What would you say?
So for those who are here, Goa is a lot like Colombo. It's not nearly as pancake flat as this is. So it's got a bit of elevation, but nothing serious, but just enough that when you're tired, it's not going to be a cruise. But similar temperatures. It's the same hot and humid. I think it was also about 32 degrees and humid.
And they'll expect that in October?
I expect that. That was on Jan 13th, so
Okay.
I would assume October would be at least that much, if not hotter.
If not hotter, so expect a hot day.
Yes. It's always hot, especially midday. But again, no serious waves. So it was a comfortable swim. Bike course so we did loops. So it was about 7 laps of whatever it was. So it was a bit like an extended crit.
But the Goa half is not 7 laps, obviously. It's a bit different.
I think it's a different course. But it's it's good conditions otherwise. It's rolling hills, but the roads are pretty nice. There are some little white whatever you want to call them, these white roller
cobblestones.
It's kind of like cobblestones. It's like really small speed breakers that you just kind of white rollers or whatever they call them. So you have to watch out for that because my bottle actually popped out in one of them and I had to loop back and pick it up. Or if you're down on aerobars, then it's really bumpy. So these are things that I was surprised by. But otherwise it was fine. The run can get lonely because there's no shade, it's hot, and
there'll probably be a bit of a crowd there, I imagine.
I hope so. The run course, so at least when I did it, and I think the 70.3 in October is actually a slightly different course. So the beach is not the same beach. So the swim is a little further north. I think it's the Miramar beach. But it's similar waters. The run is reasonably flat. I think again small elevation, small hills, but nothing serious, nothing that's going to test you. But it's hot. There's not much shade, and that's something to watch out for. But I think in 70.3 in October it's going to be different because there's a big crowd. So this race was really small. So that's one of the reasons why it was very lonely.
You got prize money.
I did.
You got more prize money than I've ever got.
For the first time in my entire life.
You got some prize money.
I did.
That was so fantastic.
I broke even on that trip, so
I'm happy. You sound like a pro. You sound like pros just go around. I just hope. All right, so you're going to blog for us. You're going to blog for us, and then people are better. I think really that the idea is to give people or athletes an insight of the challenges of training in your environment,
like traffic,
but all the sort of things that you encounter. That things are just it's hard. It's hard, and I think sometimes, and I'll be honest, some athletes have it really easy and can get a bit precious that I coach, and I think that they need to realise that their environments are a lot easier than they might know. So you're going to learn a lot. Actually, you're going to learn a lot, and I think it's going to really help your fellow athletes become better athletes, mate. So we look forward to it, and you've given them a great insight, and so thanks for joining us, mate.
Thank you, Tim. Good on you. Thanks.
We'll see you next time, guys. Ciao.